let's come back home now and talk about the Ashoju Oba table tennis competition. That's the oldest table tennis competition in Nigeria. 52nd edition went down yesterday, and we talked about our champions earlier at the start of the show. Bose Odusonya, 6 titles in a row, ridiculous. I mean, 6
Beat
in
me
a
if
row.
you can.
What is that about?
Right here,
what are the other guys doing? What are they looking? I mean, the other girls.
The other girls, yeah. Keep training, keep working hard, you know. I mean, I'm not surprised because Bose happens to be a household name when it comes to table tennis. From 2015, I mean, she has been unbeaten in the final. And again, this year, you know, she had to claim it, beating Kehinde Oyiniyi 4-0. I mean, 11-1, 11-6, 11-4, 13-11. It was even the last set that was even a bit close.
Competitive,
but then,
yeah.
2-day tournament, I mean, it was a good one because, I mean, she's the first player in history of the tournament to claim the title consecutively 6 times.
That's incredible.
Six.
Consistency.
Yeah, you can't beat that at
Coming
all.
from
She's
Bose.
good. I mean, she's really good because the first set, 11-1. It tells you.
I mean, even look at the difference between the Bose
like,
and the girl looks like a very young lass. Kehinde is still very young.
Yeah, of course.
And we're going to understand what happened in this final in a bit when we get to listen to the post-match reaction of Bose Odusonya.
I'm very happy to be the champion of this year, but I've won it twice, back in 2015, 2016, but since then I've not had the chance to go to the final. But I got to the final last year, but I lost. But glory be to God, now I can reclaim my title. The journey is not really smooth, but glory be to Almighty Allah. I believe whenever I train, then I pray everything will be possible. Then the journey was very somehow rough, but thank God. No, me, I don't normally stop training. I play every day, every time. I don't rest because I believe table tennis is my career. If you rest your career.
I'm so excited for winning this tournament because I've been training hard for this competition, and I pray to Almighty God to help me. Then I'm very grateful for winning this tournament. When I'm playing, when I'm on the table, I normally pray to God that God help me in this game. That's all. The guy I defeated is junior player to me because I normally train with her. So I normally give her 2 ahead, 3 ahead when we are training. So I have the confidence that I'm going to win the game.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, she said she's a junior. I mean, now revelation, you know why. I mean, it was just like that.
She usually gives her 2, 3 ahead normally.
Yeah,
so that was a no contest. That was a no contest. No contest. But still, incredible, remarkable achievements for Bose Odusonya. We also got to listen to the
Adeyinka,
Ahmed Adeyinka as well, who lost in the final last year, but this time around against Augustine Emmanuel, he was simply unstoppable. 4-0, 11-4, 11-5, 11-6.
How many minutes was it?
Less than 30 minutes.
Good. When you're good,
Fantastic.
you're good. I mean, just wipe off that tears I had, you know, the last time when he was, you know, in the final.
If you don't get it the first time, you stand up, you try it again.
Yeah.
That's it. Congratulations.
About 48 men and 25 women actually competed for the tournament. So you have stars from Lagos and also across Nigeria competing. So just a 2-day tournament is over. We know why it's like this. Before it used to be like a big festival, but because of COVID, everything has been toned down.
Nothing elaborates again these days.
So just wanted to go on and go ahead of it. Okay, we still need to listen to one more person before we just wrap up this one, talking about, you know, the tournament organizers, just talking about the event and on how successful it was.
There's no difference really to me. I'm still very excited to be here. I'm very excited with the level of play I'm seeing, and it's generally a very good competition. Well, yes, it's been very competitive. I mean, the lady in the semi-final who got to the final, she lost last year in the semi-final, so she has improved. The defending champion was beaten by the current finalist now. So, I mean, people are definitely, and he's a younger player, so people are definitely improving, and we're getting new people coming up. So it's very exciting for table tennis.
We've been able to keep a dream alive. Of course, we know what's happening, what has been happening this year. So we have to make it a low-key tournament, so that we'll be keeping in line with the state government's effort to manage the situation with the pandemic that is going around. The motivation has been that we didn't want it to be in the record books that there was a year that it did not hold. Good as it may, the state government and the federal government has released guidelines under which sporting tournaments can take place. And I know that through the Lagos State Sports Commission and the Lagos State Table Tennis Association, all the requirements have been met and they have been followed throughout the short tournament that we had this year. But it was important for the family that this competition did not have a break.
It's one of those things that we hope for. This has been a very difficult year, but now that notwithstanding, we say very big thank you to the family of Okoya Thomas for still having faith by hosting and sponsoring this year's edition. It's a big one for us and for the kids of Lagos. The excitement is the discovery of new champions in the making. I mean, it has been all the top players, that consider themselves to be the top players. They've been shown the way out by the younger and more energetic ones, which is a good discovery for us. We are happy, and this also help us in our preparation for the National Sport Festival.
Yo, welcome back. Okay, let's quickly talk about the Women's League. News coming out from the media. News coming from the media department is the fact that 2 clubs have been relegated, and this was confirmed by the chairperson of the Nigerian Women's Football League, Aisha Falode, on Tuesday, saying that Adamawa Queens and Heartland Queens, they've been relegated from the Nigerian Women's Premiership, so they will not play in the championship, which is the 2nd tier. And this is simply because, for the 2nd time, they failed to meet the deadline set for them, which was December 1st. So all of the clubs tried as much as possible to meet it, but Dream Stars still have a little bit of things to complete. But then they showed up at the Secretariat in Abuja. Sunshine Queens also, Imbo Majors and all that. These clubs that haven't finished at that time, they also, try as much as possible to bring it before the deadline. But Heartland Queens and Adamawa Queens were nowhere to be found.
And they've had no choice. Relegate them. Season is supposed to start December 9, and you haven't showed up or showed any signs of seriousness to registering, then that just means you're not ready.
You're not ready?
Straightforward as that.
Okay, our guest will be joining us,
Yeah,
on
ready.
show this morning. Talking about, he was with us before. I'm talking about Adeyemi Adesoyan. He'll be joining us this morning to talk so much about the UEFA Champions League. I'm kind of asking 1 or 2 questions about the Women's League and how do I put it now? More like, like the league body is really ready and serious to start a league, even if you don't have everyone, in it, because not everybody can really, fund a football club, and the ones that are not ready will not be ready. The ones that are ready will go ahead and play. Good morning, Adeyemi. It's good to have you join us this morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here once again.
Thank you for joining us.
All right.
Okay, let's quickly ask you just 2 questions. One first, before we talk about the Champions League. What do you think about what Aisha Falode is really doing with the Nigerian Women's Football League?
That's a bold move, and to be nice if Shehu Diko can grow a pair and do the same, in the MPFL. It's about time we have people who have both the power being in office and the political will to will the changes that can set our football in the right direction, on the right path. So it's a bold move. I just hope that, not like in every usual sense, you get a kind of provisional approval, allowing them to eventually come back. If she can stick to her gun, then I will forgive Aisha Falode and give her a pass mark. But this needs to also happen in the NPFL.
Absolutely, totally agree. I mean, you have to meet this criteria if you want to be a part of any professional football league in the world. So I totally agree with you right there. Ademi, let's go and talk about the UEFA Champions League. Let's do a comprehensive review of matches that were played last night from groups A to D, and the results are going to come up on your screen shortly, and we'll get your thoughts on it. Let's start with Group A, where we saw Lokomotiv taking on Salzburg. Salzburg going away to win that match 3-1. Karim Adeyemi helping the Austrian side get the first win of the competition. The other match was between Atletico and Bayern. It ended 1 apiece. João Felix and Thomas Muller on target. In Group B, it was 2-0 in favor of against Real Madrid in favor of Shakhtar Donetsk. I mean,
you're making the mistake.
That's
because
a double.
You can't believe the results.
That's a double win for Shakhtar over Real Madrid. This is going to get us talking shortly. I know you have a lot to say about that, Adeyemi. The other match ended 3-2 in favor of Inter Milan over Borussia Mönchengladbach. Romelu Lukaku keeping the hopes of Inter alive in that competition. Group C, Porto goalless against Man City. Porto advanced. City confirmed top spots in that group, while Marseille claimed the first win of the competition with a 2-1 win over Olympiacos. Dimitri Payet with 2 penalties in that one, and they've been able to stop the rot of losing 13 straight games. Last but not the least is Group D. Atlanta, Midtjylland 1-1 is a bit of a surprise. Liverpool 1-0 over Ajax, qualified for the round of 16 as group winners. Let's dive straight into the big results of the night. Shakhtar versus Real Madrid. Real Madrid, they've been so off color this season in the UEFA Champions League and by extension in La Liga as well. So we saw them lose scandalously against Deportivo Alaves, and I was worried going into this game in Ukraine, and they've ended up stinking up the whole place.
Yeah, proper stink up. Real and proper Jekyll and Hyde, side. You really don't know what you get with them these days. But if last season is anything to consider, they had a terrible time like this last season, and I think it was at the turn of the year, and then after the lockdown, they went on a run. I eventually saw them win La Liga. So I would be surprised if Real turned the corner.
Really? Turn the corner? They've not been playing that way, bro.
You see, last season, all the rumors came up, this person is going to replace Zidane will be fired. And somehow, he found a way to turn the corner, and they went on that long run and won La Liga. Okay. So I wouldn't be one of those that will put down a manager who's been very, very successful the last 5 years.
True.
And say he's lost it all of a sudden. So I'm not writing off Zidane just yet. No,
not just yet. It's way, way too early. I totally agree. But the good thing is this group is still very much open. It's going down to the wire because Inter Milan went to Germany and got a 3-2 win. Romelu Lukaku with 2 goals. Matteo Damian as well too was on target. Yeah. And their hopes of reaching the last 16 still very much alive.
What's interesting about this group is that your destiny lies in your own hands.
Yes.
So if you don't get the business done, you either find yourself out of Europe or in the Europa League.
Europa League.
It's good that Inter somehow found the resolve. And I worry about Inter because it seems it's only when they face adversity that they're able to channel their inner Hercules and get a result. But they're still bottom of the group. Interestingly, Real Madrid, I'm just thinking to myself how it would be if Real Madrid are playing in the Europa League.
That would be great. It would be quite a sight.
I mean, everyone wants to watch Europa League at that time, and they'll be favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. Imagine Tottenham led by Jose taking on Real Madrid in the UEFA Europa League.
Final.
Final.
Maybe final, for instance, and all our attention will definitely switch to Europa League and not only Champions League.
Exactly.
But there's something about Inter Milan that I love what they did last night. You said when they pushed to the wall, that's when they want to fight back. And we saw the fact that this was their first win in how many games? Before they played the game last night against Borussia Mönchengladbach, they haven't won. Yeah, in 5 games, they haven't won anyone. But there's something Antonio Conte did, last night that made them to get that victory. Can they replicate that? I mean, just avoid going into Europa League or even out of the Champions League totally.
Well, they have Shakhtar at home in the last game, and if Shakhtar defend the way they defended in the first game, I don't see how Inter will break that team down. That team is very young. Have a 19-year-old goalkeeper who is at his best at the moment. If Inter come with their Jekyll and Hyde spirit, I don't think they can beat Shakhtar. But if they are focused, if the pieces work, and another thing about Conte is too many changes. He chops and changes his team too much. And I think the luxury of 5 substitutions, Conte is one of those that I'm sure at the start of the season was putting his thumb out and saying, we have to have 5 substitutions. Because he has been the biggest beneficiary of that rule. Because he's having, look, imagine a team putting out a substitution and able to call Vidal, Sanchez, Sensi. Imagine.
So many options.
You would scare the life out of the team you are playing. Look at what they have coming off the bench. So Inter have to do something a bit different if they intend to get to the next round.
Yeah, definitely. We will be keeping an eye on the final day of this group. That's going to be on the 9th of December. It's a straight showdown between Inter and Shakhtar, and Real versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. Let's leave Group B for now. Let's move on to Group C and talk about Porto and Man City. And okay, before we do that, let's talk about Liverpool in Group D first of all. Liverpool defeated Ajax by a lone goal. And before that game, yet another injury issue for Liverpool to deal with. Alisson Becker ruled out with an hamstring problem for the next couple of weeks. And what did the coach do? Instead of play Adrian, he decides to give his debut to a 22-year-old who's never played in this competition. And I thought it was magnificent. I thought it was very, very decent on the night.
Yeah. Well, it's called being able to draw on your bank balance. So,
interesting.
Liverpool being able to draw on the youngsters that ordinarily in 2-3 years ago, you probably would not have given them an opportunity of playing for a team like Liverpool. So it's a great opportunity that some of the youngsters are getting a chance. And not only that, they are showing that they do deserve to play at this level. So the goalkeeper, the likes of Nico Williams, Ryan Williams, Nathaniel Phillips, those guys are showing that, yes, whilst you have the big guns, we, the young stars coming to the academy, also can show that we're part of this team and we can also play when called upon. So good one for Liverpool. Injuries is part of the game.
Yes.
It happens to everybody. So it does depend on how you decide to cope with it.
You're right. The goal scorer on the night, another youngster, Curtis Jones, 19.
Curtis Jones, yes.
He's the 3rd youngest player to score for Liverpool in the UEFA Champions League. So that's just a testament to what you've just said now. Liverpool have a lot of young stars who are ready to step up whenever they need it.
Are you saying that maybe Jurgen Klopp should just stop crying and focus on the players he's got? Because every time he gets to talk to the press,
stop crying.
He keep talking about the fact that, hey, look, I mean, he doesn't have players at all to rotate. Yeah.
You have you register 25 players at the start of the season.
Yeah.
And people say, look, once anybody puts on that Liverpool jersey or the jersey of any club at all, it means you are good enough.
Yes.
And in the words of Matt Busby, you say, if you are good enough, you are old enough. So it's not about Van Dijk not being available. When you are setting up your squad for the season, you always have options. You had planned, you're supposed to have planned for all the eventualities that will come up. Unfortunately, nobody would have expected that 3 out of 4 or 4 out of Liverpool's back 5 to be injured at the same time.
It's a lot. Yeah.
These things happen.
Yeah, they happen. You got to deal with it and move on. Let's go to Porto, Man City. Adeyemi, this group, of course, Nigerians are interested in it because there's a Nigerian playing, Zaid Sanusi. You've watched him extensively now in this competition, and he's been very, very solid. What are your thoughts on this guy, especially On the back of what we saw him, how he played for Nigeria during the AFCON qualifying.
What interests me about Sanusi and being at Porto is that he's shown two sides to his game. He can play as a proper fullback and he can play as a wing back. So he's able to contribute going forward. The previous match day, he scored. So he's shown that he has that versatility and can also contribute to the team's goal scoring or even going forward. So whilst we've been yearning for a different kind of left back all this while, we have one now in the young man, and I hope that he keeps his form, everything goes well for him. Maybe another year or two at Porto will get him even to a bigger team in mainstream Europe.
Why not?
For coming to the national side, I think Guerrero needs to be a little bit, how do I put it now? Is it fair on the guy? Because for me, it seemed like after the Sierra Leone 4-4, he was dropped in the return. It seemed as if he was a scapegoat.
Right.
As far as I was concerned, when for me, he wasn't supposed to be dropped. But hey, these things happen. Guerrero is one that earns the big money. I just
Of course. All right, then. Let's go to
tonight's games and all that. Okay, we're starting with the game between PSG and Manchester United. We know that group also is another group that you don't have anyone into the round of 16 yet. We can just take a look at the fixtures, then we'll pick the ones that we'll talk about, the United and the PSG. You have Krasnodar and Rennes will be in action. Sevilla and Chelsea, that's Group E. We're starting with Group E, match the 5 fixtures of UEFA's Champions League. Let's move over to the other group, which is Group F. Dortmund and Lazio in action. Club Brugge and Zenit St. Petersburg will also be in action tonight in the UEFA Champions League. And G, of course, you have Ferencváros and Barcelona, Juventus and Dynamo Kyiv will also be in action.
Group H is going to get us talking. Istanbul and RB.
Leipzig, and of course you have Man United and PSG will be in action. So let's start with the game between United and PSG. We know that Manchester United at home, they've not had the best of form this season.
Best of form in the Premier League, but in the Champions League, hey, they have a perfect record. They've won their last 4, and 3 of those last 4 games have been won at home. So you would say that United are in a good position to get a result against PSG. But then, you remember the last time PSG visited Old Trafford, they got the result.
They got the win.
So United have won 2 of the last 3 games against PSG, but those 2 wins
away
in Paris.
Yeah.
So you really don't know what you get. But Manchester United have also shown that when they play teams like this team, like PSG, teams that would attack you, that would prefer to have more of the ball, United are able to exploit teams of that nature because of their pace and all that. So, but I will be going for a draw in this one. I'm not sure because of the level of injuries United have as well. I'm not sure United have enough to beat this PSG at Old Trafford. So I'm going for a draw.
A draw. And if it ends on a draw, that'll just be good enough for United to move on into the round. Exactly. And PSG will have to live to fight another day.
Oh, yes. They have to go to the last day. I think they'll host Istanbul Basaksehir on the last day. And if RB Leipzig win away to Istanbul Basaksehir today, it makes the group very, very interesting because that means RB Leipzig will move to second and they will be on 9 points. Now, the other interesting thing is if Istanbul Basaksehir defeat RB Leipzig today, they will also go to 6 points. So that will mean 3 teams will be on 6 points depending on the results. So last day might be very, 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 very crucial for 3 out of 4 teams.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer speaking ahead of tonight's game against PSG. Adeyemi, when Cavani was signed, late in the transfer window, I thought to myself, okay, this is what United need. This is a proper striker. We should just go ahead and lead them perhaps back to the former glory days and all of that. But interestingly, it's had to make do with coming on from the bench, and just over the weekend, came on to devastating effect. 2 goals and assist. I have to say, surely going forward now, he's got to be the first name on the team sheet for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
You forgot an abandoned patriotism at the time he was signing for Manchester United, because a certain striker of Nigerian origin is suffering at the moment. But then, you can't take away the quality that Cavani has. And I'm not surprised that he's having to come off the bench. He was out of football for about 6 months.
Yes.
Once the French league ended early, he was out of contract. Obviously, when PSG went to play the Champions League, he opted not to go because the contract was over. So, of course, they have to ease him in. He has to work on his fitness and, get accustomed to the way United play, get used to the team,
Ademi,
make a few friends, and that, yeah.
Ademi, kindly hold your thoughts. We need to go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll let you wrap it up. Thomas Tuchel speaking ahead of tonight's match against Manchester United, where he's going to be facing off against his former player, Edinson Cavani, as well as Marcus Rashford, who scored 2 winners against PSG in the last 2 games. Now, Ademi, surely, of course, Rashford, like I said, scored the winner in the last game. He's a very good player, but Cavani has to lead the attack while Rashford perhaps plays from the left.
Well, with Solskjaer, you really don't know what you get. Despite Cavani's 2 goals salvaging the result for United, he might still start on the bench. That's Solskjaer for you. So you never know what you get with him.
United fans will be going crazy if that happens.
I love
Of course. I would be surprised if James starts.
Mason Greenwood, of course. You have Mason Greenwood, Rashford, and Daniel James. I mean, that's him for you. I mean, he loves young stars. And then Cavani will come maybe 75th minute into the game.
It's not going to happen.
He could just have to do that because, because
he
of
the
off-field issues.
If
and
he
all
does that,
okay, what will he do?
He's going to lose a bit of goodwill coming from United fans.
He's been losing it. I'm sure United fans will not be surprised if they see Edinson Cavani starting from the bench, right?
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Goodwill is determined by the number by you winning. So if it starts with James, Rashford, and Greenwood, and United win, there'll be a few murmurs, few murmurings.
Yeah.
But you look at the board, now they are through to the next round. Okay, let's go to the weekend.
And that's it for you. Well, someone that has actually scored 200 goals, highest goal scorer. I mean, he's an all-time goal scorer for PSG. Of course, you want him to start. But as you said, we never know what Ole will come up with the way he usually structure his team. Now, quickly, before we let you go, let's talk about Juventus and, of course, Barcelona. The game we'll also be looking at tonight. Juventus will be in action later today in Turin. And, of course, Barcelona will also be in action. Barcelona, already
they're
through,
qualified already. Yeah.
Juventus will be a team to really look at for tonight.
They take on Dynamo Kiev.
Well, Juve, also a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde side. What they had last season was their ability to win, even when they are playing badly.
Yeah.
And that's what has set them apart from the rest of Syria. Now, they're playing badly, and they are dropping points. They drop points to Benevento. So you really don't know what you're going to get with the Juve side, because under Pirlo, Pirlo is, how do I put it, learning on the job.
Yes.
So as each game comes, you see a different side, you see a different style. The likes of Atomelo yet to settle in. At the start, Ramsey was an integral part. All of a sudden, he's no longer an integral part of the team. So you really don't know what you get. But Juventus playing Dynamo Kiev, I think Juventus should be fine. And since that Barcelona have shown that their heads and shoulders ahead of the remaining teams in the group, obviously the first two anyway. It's just that it's obvious Barca will top the group and Juventus will finish second, which those teams coming into the locker room might not like, because having a big team like that being in second place, portends a lot of danger for some of the teams that top their respective groups. But aside that, I think Juve will be fine. A draw is good enough for them. So really, they have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, of course, the draw is good enough for them. 9 points, that's what they are on. And the other two teams in the group, Dynamo Kyiv and the others, just won 1 point each. Just a draw, they will be through. One, thank you so much, Adeyemi Adesanya, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Have a lovely day.
You too.
You too. Thank
Cheers.
you. All right, let's go straight to the papers. Tire.
Okay.
Before that, I'll just take one tweet to conclude the Champions League.
Two.
One. Yeah, take one. I think we'll have time just for one. Okay. Yeah, okay, HJ. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, HJ says, Zaidu Sanusi is a revelation. He needs to improve the defensive side of the game. Also, look at Karim Adeyemi and Jamal Musala. Nigeria has a burst of talent at the moment, and only administrators can shoot us in the foot.
Yeah. Saw Karim scored against Lokomotiv. Fantastic goal, young player. Want to keep an eye on.
Okay, and Garelo says, Garelo Adio says, okay, Mr. Tayo, are you very sure you knew Cavani would be the answer to Man United's problems, considering his age and the fact he's been away from competition for many months? Anyway, it's early days. Let's see if he can keep it up. What's your reply?
Class is permanent.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Noble Flyerman says, I'm still in shock with the results coming out of Bernabeu. Shakhtar did the double against them. We will trash PSG today 2-0.
Wow.
United forever.
2-0 thrashing. You heard that before? 2-0 thrashing. 2-0.
Yes.
Let's look at the papers.
PSG, that's why it's thrashing. All right, I'll start with Sporting Sun, right?
Yes.
Okay, Sporting Sun, you have a Shakhtar shocks Real Madrid. Again, yeah. They've conceded 5 goals from Shakhtar now scoring 2.
Lost home and away.
Home and away.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you have another one. Super Eagles may return to Lagos. That's for AFCON qualifiers against Lesotho.
Which stadium?
No, I think we have not Teslim Balogun Stadium is being regressed because you have the other one, Nikon Stadium. It could be anyone. You're thinking of the national stadium, the other opposite. No, we're looking at Teslim and Nikon. No, come on, Tayo. Don't go there. Musa inches closer to Turkish club. Okay, we know he's not going to go to England. Turkey, yeah, he loves it right there.
Sporting Life, next paper. A lot of Champions League stories. Sevilla, Chelsea, Ocampos, De Jong out. Neymar wants teammates ahead of tonight's match against Manchester United. Messi to Sterling, Coutinho rested for tonight's match again for Barcelona. A lot of Champions League stories. Olaino charges teammates as Fulham. They got their first win against Leicester. Surprisingly, they need to build on that. Now, Belgium Jupiler League Team of the Week. Onuachu leads the attack. Of course, he's the top scorer in that side of the world.
He goes now 12.
Yeah, 12 and 13.
12 and 13.
That's quite remarkable. And Club Brugge versus Zenit. Dennis can explode. That's Emmanuel Dennis Bonaventure. Last paper.
The last one is Complete Sports, and Chelsea labelled best attacking team in England. Jose also said that, that's really true. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says we are in EPL title race. Okay, after 9 games, what was their position right now? Okay, you see so much. All eyes on Cavani as Igalo seeks UCL miracle. Can he just start today? Maybe.
No chance.
No chance.
Nah,
all right.
Too bad.
Thank you guys for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a great day.
I am Tahir Salam. Try and join us again tomorrow.